Shaq's foot might be injured, but his mouth is healthy as fuck.
Pause.
Because
time out.
Because
what?
Because
Pause that.
because he comes in the preseason. I don't give a fuck. I'm rolling right through it like a fucking steamroller, a Cleveland steamroller.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like what is wrong with this guy, man?
So we left the last season, Shaq 3 times in a row, Finals MVP. And we were talking about, where Shaq ranks, whether he's still the best player in the world. Pretty sure that's where we left off, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that we did talk about a lot during the last year was his injury problems, and it was specifically his feet. His feet started to give on him. This was happening in the middle of the last championship run. So Shaq, on August 31st, after more than 2 months of excellent analysis, Shaquille O'Neal has scheduled the surgery doctors believe will ease the pain in his arthritic toe for September 11th. The recovery is expected to take about 8 weeks. So Shaq, the most valuable player of the last 3 NBA Finals, could miss all of training camp and some of the regular season, right? So this is going to be.
He chose to do that, right, in September.
Yeah, so he probably could have gotten it done a little sooner, but as far as we know, so far he is at a point where I just am surprised from a pain standpoint. If my foot hurts and I can get in a week later, like, I'll give you an example, right? I'll give you a pro wrestling example. Kurt Angle, right? One of the greatest wrestlers of all time. 2003, roughly the same time frame. 2003 WrestleMania 19. He's wrestling Brock Lesnar with a completely broken neck.
Yeah. That
man got in for surgery. Could have waited. Like, he was supposed to get the surgery in January, but waited it out till March and beginning of April, when WrestleMania was. As soon as WrestleMania was over, or in this case, the finals was over, right?
Yeah.
Angle gets the fucking surgery immediately. So he can recover and, from a pain standpoint, I just don't. Yeah. If you're Shaq and you're 7 foot and you're 580,000 pounds and you are just constantly putting weight on that foot, wouldn't you want to get it fixed like ASAP? Yeah. Especially thinking about Shaq as a person. Like, this isn't a guy.
It's just because it's like, it might be like if you put impact on it kind of thing, then you feel like, because like I don't know if it was like, obviously a bone is a little different, but like I've had like plantar fasciitis, and like after you like extra use of your foot, then you start feeling it a little bit more. So I didn't know if it was more so like it could have been like a stress fracture or something like that. It might have not been like a full on break or something. You know what I mean?
Maybe. So they said the pain is arthritic, which I don't know how a surgery is going to help with arthritis. That must be a hell of a surgery.
Doctors, if there's any doctor that watches, let us know.
So Shaq's foot is healing.
Imagine if a surgeon is really watching us.
Could be one of those YouTube surgeons. Like,
I'm thinking about this brain surgery tomorrow, but I'm watching these 2 dodos talk about
your fucking stupid ass. But no, Shaq's foot might be injured, but his mouth is healthy as fuck.
Pause. Time out.
Because he comes in the preseason. I don't give a fuck. I'm rolling right through it like a fucking steamroller, A Cleveland steamroller.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like what is wrong with this guy, man?
Shaquille O'Neal traveled with the Lakers more than 2 hours by bus on Tuesday for their exhibition opener. He said, once again, that he has no idea when he will play. Let's start there. Absolutely no idea when he will play after undergoing surgery on September 11th, the 1 year anniversary. We're keeping everything. So
we could have just kept on, like he's not even said anything.
He said, I think it's good to keep everything in perspective. Anyways, he said he hopes to begin light jogging next week. Asked about the Sacramento Kings, he said, I'm not worried about the Sacramento Queens.
Yeah.
Write it down. Take a picture. I'm not going to talk about this all year. When I get back, there's going to be trouble. And this is something that we talked about during the Kings series last year. The next part of this article says, when asked about reinforcement of the Shaq rule, which prohibits free throw shooters from stepping over the line before the ball hits the rim, he said, I crossed the line to mess with you.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, man.
I crossed the line to mess with you.
Way too big of a fucking deal about a foot that steps over after the ball's already released.
It's the principle. There are rules.
But that's just stupid. Like, literally it affects nothing. Like,
I mean, hypothetically, he's a giant human. If he takes that step, he's only going to make another half step to get to the rebound, right? In some situations. So in that sense, it could be an unfair advantage.
I guess.
I'm just thinking it out. I'm not telling you you're right or wrong.
I mean, I guess in that sense, like, it gives him an extra.
People care because they got to watch.
But they were making it seem like it was helping his free throw shooting. That was his thing. Like, they were making it seem like it helped his free throw shooting.
Well, yeah, they're trying to think of anything because when you watch a guy shoot 30 to 40 free throws in a game, like, it's
he's missing like 20 of them.
The amount of free throws he took in the playoffs, and this will definitely be underneath me. The amount of fucking free throws he took in 3 playoff years has got to be more than anybody ever by a wide margin. Like, when you consider amount of games played, amount of times hacked.
I agree with that.
It's got to be because he was at the foul line religiously.
I don't know
whether it's because he can't shoot. Do you think they were hacking him yet, though? I don't know. I just don't know the answer.
He was shooting like 15 free throws a game, though.
That's true, but it was also because the refs were like, "Oh, you touched his arm. Technically, that's a foul, but he's Will Chamberlain, so he easily just dunked it." Your poor white arm had nothing to do with him slamming the ball in your face.
I agree with that. He was fighting against little plumbers, but he's still. It'll probably be anything after the 80s.
Small white arms were probably involved.
You have to when you do that stat, future Russell. Could you put after the 80s? Because I don't want to see Will Chamberlain seasons.
Because I know they'll. Well, it's the playoffs, so probably not.
He usually went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Either way, when asked about the reinforcement of the rule, he said, "I crossed the line to mess with you. The officials came to me before every game in the playoffs and warned me. I said, call it. It's not going to bother me." For a guy who's injured and not playing, this is what I'm saying. The guy is talking crazy shit to start this year. He's just in full. He's in full understanding and awareness of what the media can do for him, his brand, the league. And just like he's turning that up at this point. He's a 3-time champion. He felt like he had nothing to prove after the first one. Now he's fucking got 3.
I'm not gonna lie, Shaq definitely used the media more than anybody in NBA history, I think. Even LeBron. I think it even goes over LeBron. LeBron never did shit like this. He's like straight up talking and just
that's because LeBron was constantly, I don't know. No, there's nobody. You know who might be able to do this and act like this? Ja Morant. Ja Morant might be a guy who goes out and if he gets some championships, he's already fucking.
He would be like that. If
the least soft player in the league.
He's gonna talk the most shit in the world.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna talk wild shit. Draymond occasionally is like this, but he's not big on social media, and he's not going.
And he's also not
like part of the media.
Yeah, huh? But it's still not like to this level. And like the whole thing is he's also like producing through it. Like, I mean, this season is obviously like the craziest one ever, and freaking probably his worst too.
You think this season is crazier than the next season?
No. I'm sorry. I think this season, in terms of like the amount of articles we're gonna read to you guys, like, is significantly more than any other season. It might be more. It might be like it's close to like last season plus like a half of a season kind of thing.
There's just shit crazy. That like my big thing that I wanted,
and I never knew this shit. This
is my point. My big thing that I wanted to accomplish here is I feel like there's a lot of people in our age group, late 20s and younger, that genuinely didn't really live through this and have heard about it. Because by the time in 2003, you and I are like 10 years old, right? Yeah. And maybe we're into basketball, but like we're kids. Like there's not a whole lot you're going to understand about everything that's going on. And
we're not watching all these fucking shows.
That's what I'm saying. And especially in comparison to how I watch now. Like I watch so much more than I did when I was a fucking child. Yeah. So like I really wanted to accomplish, this is how this fell apart. And I want to get the full roller coaster because I feel like people just go, oh, the Shaq and Kobe thing, it was a fucking roller coaster, and don't really know anything about it. And that is the goal of the fucking whatever 10 hours it takes for us to get through this fucking bullshit. Like it's important to me as a fan of the history of the game.
For sure. I mean, you know why it's important to me. It's me learning a little bit more. I mean, we don't get the full Kobe perspective. We're doing a little bit more Shaq, but it's still
he'll be in there.
No, he's definitely in there, so it makes it very interesting. Like, there's just shit that he does that I agree with, and then I definitely don't agree with. It's just like, why? Like, but both of them, though, like, they're crazy. And especially this season, I didn't realize, because I always thought the rift was between them, but it literally goes to the whole team at some point, like in this season. So it's just crazy. Man. I didn't know that.
Because it makes the whole team's forced to pick sides. That's what happens.
But the crazy part is it's almost like them two versus the team.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into
the way
it. We'll get into
perspective. Yeah, it's perceived for sure.
When we get there, bring that up. But one thing I did want to point out further in this promo, that Shaq's cutting, despite being on one leg, is they've already made up one Shaq rule called allowing zone defense. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like Shaq's right to say that the zone was established because of him?
Oh, they allowed it? They stopped the illegal defense?
Yes. Or they started allowing zone defense within these last 2 years. You think it's because of Shaq? 100%?
Yeah, for sure. There's no way, because you literally can't stop. You can't stop the man one-on-one. So it's like, and they probably were just letting double teams happen anyways, because they were like they would at some point Shaq is gonna be in the paint. Someone else is gonna try to be close enough to like help out. So they were just allowing the double teams anyway. So might as well just take out the rule.
I think the interesting part about allowing zone that nobody really brings up is, what's the best way to beat a zone, Dario? Doesn't matter which one. Say that again. Louder for the people in the back.
Shooting threes, Brody.
And now look where we are. Like, not to say zone is constantly used, but when it comes to playoff time, teams have thrown in, especially in this 2022 playoffs that we're living through right now, we've seen lots of different zone coverages, and it's something that's gotten more popular over the last since this point in time when they allowed zone defense.
The Warriors literally just use. So we're in 2022. It's the second round of the playoffs. The Warriors literally just used zone defense to help beat Grizzlies in that last game. Right. Or not? Sorry, was it that last game? Maybe the game.
And Miami was using it the other night. I saw Miami Heat using it versus the Sixers, and vice versa. I saw the Sixers using it as well. They both went zone. Thought that was interesting. But the other thing I wanted to say about zone, I think Shaq's right, and I think my reasoning has absolutely nothing to do with him. I used to in college, where you and I met, there was this kid who was terrible at NBA 2K. Horrible. But he was amazing with Shaq because, quote, I just run to the basket and press X and the ball goes in. It's amazing. And he would score relentlessly with Shaq. And the only thing you could do to stop this motherfucker from scoring with Shaq was to put a 2-3 zone in and have 3 guys near the paint and just like be there no matter what. Yeah. That's their coverage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when I remember in college, I was like, that's why they did this. Yeah. So more people can start coming to attack Shaq in the paint. The man. And I just think, I don't know. I think it's good that they allowed the zone ultimately, personally, in my opinion. Like,
I don't think there should have been a rule to how you have to play defense. Like that sounds like too football. That sounds like too much of a football thing. You know, like I feel like they have like rules on positioning and stuff, and like the NBA has no rules on positioning besides that. Like that was just weird.
That and 3 seconds. You can't stand in the paint for more than 3 seconds.
Which that makes sense though. Like, because it's like literally.
Imagine if Shaq could just stand there for 24 seconds. Imagine.
It was like street volume.
Think about how many blocks. Think about
that was another thing in the 60s, man. In the 60s, it was like street volume. Like that's where that game came up with. Like it was from street volume. Like fucking Will Chamberlain was just like, "Oh, fuck out of here, fuck out of here."
What's your favorite volume of NBA Street?
Volume 2, man.
The boy. That's the W for everyone.
Come on,
there's a really awesome Ringer documentary on YouTube. Check that out.
Street Volume 2 is the GOAT. Come on, man. Anybody, write in the comments if y'all like Street Volume 2, man.
So, Shaq's gonna miss the first 12 games of the 02-03 season, and the Lakers are going to suck hot ass. Yeah. They're gonna go 3-9. Which is weird because
this was the worst start out of the last
by a mile.
Phil Jackson's tenure. Yeah,
this is the worst start I think since Shaq's been with LA.
I don't know about that.
I feel like it's pretty close.
That's true.
Out of the first 12 games, win percentage, I feel like it's pretty close. Kobe's trying his hardest to keep him in it.
That's the thing. Like I feel like a lot of people hold it against Kobe this season, like
just about how he
feel
does
like
it.
Yeah, because some of the quotes that he said is like, come on, bro, like what are we talking about?
Yeah, and so I think this is it. Yeah, so he's 29, 8 and 6 with 2.5 steals a game, shooting only 42%, and 28% from 3, getting to the free throw line 8.5 times a game. Not terrible, but the record is atrocious. And he's even got 3 40-point games. Yeah, 3 40-point games here in this stretch. And it doesn't matter. Some of these are closer, but it's not enough to get it done. There's a couple of blowouts here against the Cavs. This is right before they got LeBron. So this is a horrible Cavs team.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson did not sound disgusted with a 3-9 start, even though the Lakers began 16-1 a year ago. To your point, just an awful transition, and he took partial responsibility, second guessing himself about sending out the message in the preseason that we could go 0-7 if we're not careful. So he's saying he spoke that shit into existence. He feels like Phil Jackson. I'm saying,
but I think he was trying to use it more so as a motivational tactic. And it just didn't work.
Oh, absolutely. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And he's not like
I mean, he's one of those people that likes but it was just like, everybody else.
I don't think you needed to motivate Kobe.
Yeah.
I don't think you needed to. Kobe was dousing himself in lighter fluid to fucking light the fire.
Yeah.
Like, he is good. Expectations were supposed to be low without an injured Shaquille O'Neal for nearly a month. So Jackson figured he would motivate his players with the fear of losing. There you go.
Yep.
Instead, the Lakers relaxed and waited for Kobe to create and win games for them. So it's just crazy. They lose 7 of 8 at one point in this stretch. And Shaq comes back against the Bulls and they win, even though Obviously, Shaq's playing limited minutes to come back. He's got to build that for the first week he's playing on a limited schedule. But they're going to get,
especially if it's a foot injury.
They're going to beat Chicago, another terrible team. You're saying?
Yeah. It's only really like 4 or 5 games, like, and it's still played 35 minutes one of the games. So I'm like, because I feel like a lot of people make it seem like he just started like breaking down, which late in his career for sure, but I feel like he bounced back pretty quickly. Like 4 games isn't that bad.
Another thing that's killing them is they're not just without Shaq, but they're also without Rick Fox, a crucial member of their team, right? And that's because of this fucking shit fiasco. That
this was crazy.
I didn't know this happened. This is what I mean. This is some shit I did not know happened until I watched it. So obviously, Kings and Lakers, bad blood, right? Bad blood.
And
so these
my man punched them.
Yeah,
he punched
these motherfuckers start fighting. Then after this, they're both going to get, I think, ejected.
Yeah, they both.
Pretty sure.
Ejected. Yeah.
Right. So we'll roll along with the footage here, but the Lakers are just a disaster right now.
What?
Like
he just drama this shit. That was crazy.
So dramatic, this team. And so then they go in the back, right? This is.
I don't know about dramatic. I really do feel like
this isn't dramatic. Look at this.
No.
This is
they just
some pro wrestling shit.
No, but they were legit fighting though.
Shaq had to come out from the locker room and shove motherfuckers around.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, in terms of, I feel like what makes the drama seem like it's always drama in LA, because it was like that, like, in terms of like the drama, like, we just had drama in LA this whole year, right? With in 2022 or whatever. And I feel like every year there's drama, but that's because of the amount of media coverage that the LA Lakers get versus other teams, it's just significantly more.
Yeah, well, that's also because of the weird. There's
like
some
if
sort
you look
of
at it, like the Knicks are also like that too, but that's because of all the media coverage.
But it's not. The Lakers have way more national TV games. Like they're on national TV.
That's because they're better. Yeah.
Most of the time, like in this era, it was dope. Like, and when they have LeBron and when they have Magic Johnson, like it's amazing. But it sucks when it's the fucking injured Kobe Lakers, Nick Young getting hyped because he won his first game in like 20 tries. That fucking disappointment.
Nick Young is not a fucking walking joke, man. He was making it entertaining though, like shooting the threes, turning around, just and if the ball was just like bobbling. Yo, Nick Young when he was in LA, man, he's a GOAT. That his number should have been retired, man. Fucking best, man.
Yeah, Nick Young is always a special place in my heart. I can agree with that. But Shaq, so they're gonna go. Having Shaq back really doesn't cure their winning issues because they're gonna go 7-7 over Shaq's first 14 games.
Yeah,
Shaq,
which in the past,
in the
past when that's happened, like you always saw that they just started winning more. Like you know what I mean? Like, or at least they had a winning record.
Yeah. Like, remember the quote. When I was running the team, we were blah 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 blah. In the second year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking, that quote was relatively accurate. And
Shaq,
now it's not.
A hoe.
Now it's not. 26 points, 10.6 rebounds, 2 blocks, 56%. But the Lakers are 11th in the West at this point in time. But that's crazy.
That's crazy. We shitting on Shaq for this, but a man just won an MVP with those bullshit ass numbers. No, let me stop. Keep on.
Yeah. Fucking quit while you're ahead.
I'm throwing shade, man.
Hashtag send that MVP to Serbia.
Anyway, no, fuck that. Fuck that. It was bullshit.
I hope it falls in the Atlantic.
They put it in a cardboard box.
It would have been Pacific, right?
It would be the Atlantic, I think. I don't know.
No, depends on where they're sending it from. Pacific, bro.
Where are they sending it from? New York or LA?
Like Europe is closest to LA.
No, what? What?
You sure about that? Positive?
Japan is closest to LA, and then Europe and England are closer to New York.
That's crazy. I don't see geography, man. Geography. Yeah,
geometry. This man just said geometry.
Oh man, this is one for the record, bro.
Yeah,
this is some Charles Barkley type shit that's happening in the scenario right now.
I suck at geography. I'm dead ass.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh my God.
That's why you're the math guy. And
I don't even know all 50 states, man. It's really hard.
Stop. You're bit. Stop. People don't need to know this about you.
Okay, you ready? So from New York, you cross the Atlantic to get to Europe, and then if you want to go from California to Asia, you cross the Pacific.
The Pacific.
Pacific, not specific. Pacific.
No, I said Pacific. I literally said Pacific, and I was just about to say, there's people that be saying specific. She's trying to front on me right now. You a hater.
I'm sorry, you just don't know geometry.
Yeah, geography. I'm good at geometry, man.
Yeah. So there we go. Now each of us has fucked something up.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
What are you talking about? I don't fuck anything up. You guys are stupid.
She didn't.
Continue.
You did, though. You literally just did.
Anyways, she did it to. You didn't get the joke.
No, I didn't. That's because I was reading. It's not your fault. Anyways,
it's your fault.
They're gonna be
not trying to blame me, and it's him. He said, "No, it's not your fault, man." No, it's your fault. I know.
Going into this finals rematch against the Nets, the Lakers are 10-16, and with Kobe and Shaq, this is astounding. Look at this. This is literally Kobe and Shaq, and that's the team. That's insane. Nobody is producing.
Kobe shot 27%. That's crazy.
Yeah, he does that a lot. I mean, he scores the points because he gets the free throw line, but he does, has his fair share of these games in this era, especially where it's this guy just came off of foot surgery. Fucking, I'm here putting up 40-point games. I slow down for no man.
Yeah.
That is definitely the mindset we're in with Kobe right now. So he's going out of his way to shoot more than Shaq. He's playing more minutes than Shaq. He's in better shape than Shaq. Right?
Yeah.
And they're going to get absolutely raped by New Jersey in a finals rematch, a team that they fucking swept less than a year ago, right?
People are definitely thinking, let that happen again, let that finals happen again, and New Jersey's just gonna mop the floor with them,
That's what I'm thinking. I'm absolutely thinking that.
Jared, you were the only one thinking that.
Motherfuckers are gonna think we're talking about Jared from Subway. Fucking. I'm a very optimistic person, said guard Kobe Bryant, speaking softly because of a sore throat. It's probably from taking dick. Anyways, I love challenges, and I love when everybody thinks we're kind of down and out. I love responding to that. And this right here is the ultimate challenge as we try to win another title. To be able to pull this off, I think people could really look back and say, man, that was a heck of a team. They really pulled through a really, really tough stretch early this season. I feel like we've been saying that the last 2 fucking years.
Yeah, but you could tell he'd be thinking this shit. We do all this and come back. Kobe was some psycho, man.
I mean, in all seriousness, though, what else is he supposed to think at this point? Because they've won 3 straight championships.
You
with relative ease.
Yeah.
With little in front of them. All the Lakers are searching for the answer to their predicament. It has led to bickering and infighting between the superstars, O'Neal and Bryant, and the role players. So this is what you were talking about. In late November, Kobe blasted forward Samaki Walker for going on the injured list with a back injury instead of playing.
This was crazy to me. That was completely insane to me. Kobe, you are wild. It's one thing, because it's one thing to be the person to want to fight through that and show your dedication and determination, but to force your literally thought, you can't force somebody to do that.
What MJ did.
MJ forced people to play through injury.
I'm sure it wasn't reported on all the time, but I mean, if he's telling somebody you can't eat after a bad game,
this was
pretty sure he's going, hey, you're being a pussy. I'm pretty sure he was mad at Scottie Pippen about the migraine. I'm pretty sure he's mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel that.
I'm fucking upset about these things.
Because that's one of the things that, as I was reading through all of this, I was like, you want to know the luxury that this is the type of shit that makes, like a lot of, I guess, current players think that players from the past couldn't deal with what they go through now, because you don't get none of that reporting. Like, we've done legacy breakdowns on some of these legends, and we can't find this stuff like that.
Sure.
Like, not this level of reporting, is because the NBA just wasn't that big at that point. So, it's
and
just
if it
insane,
was, it was following one or two guys. And
like, Magic could have definitely been fucking Kareem's wife or something. Like, and you don't know. Like that's what I'm saying, man.
I know. I'm sure that it was.
Jerry West was wilding for his man, throwing golf clubs.
That HBO documentary's got you bugging.
Yeah. No, but because it could literally have been
not
like
a documentary, excuse me, television show. Let me not get sued by Jerry West.
Yeah, it could have
and the entire Lakers.
It could have literally been like that, bro.
But yes, O'Neal implied that the Lakers supporting cast was not playing hard as well. For nearly 2 weeks, O'Neal has not granted any interviews. When asked to speak after a loss at Golden State on December 10th, so here he had 36, so that he was the player of that game for the Lakers, I would imagine. Let's see if Kobe had fucking 80 in this game.
I think he did have a lot in this game.
No, he had 19 and 14 assists. He was playing very
with only 12 field goal attempts. Why you ain't saying that now? Why you ain't saying that now, Ross?
Because he had 14 assists. That was more important. Anyways, so he used expletives in telling reporters to talk to Lakers who aren't playing well. I ain't got nothing nice to say today, so I can't say nothing. Shut the fuck up, Shaq, you little bitch.
Yeah,
I hate that shit.
No, but the crazy part, this is
it's your job to talk to the media when you play well. I'm sorry, everybody does.
Yeah,
I don't know. That drives me nuts. Continue.
Yeah. Nah, this is my thing. Like, this is where I think, like, the team starts turning on both of the superstars, and it was almost like they're both putting it on their teammates to do more instead of, like, each other. Like, it's not them attacking each other, really. It's them attacking their teammates.
I mean, look at this fucking Nets game that we saw. Look at this fucking Nets game that we just got done covering, right? How would you feel?
Guys, we're only in December. Just so I know.
Look at this. No, but this is important. Look. Look at this. The team's not doing shit. This is what I said before.
Yeah.
The team's not doing anything. And I would feel that way too if I was Kobe and Shaq. Like, we need help. You can't win it by themselves.
Well, doesn't one of the guys say, we're scoring on 30 points. You got to put up the other 70. That was insane.
That's the predicament they put themselves in. Yes, they did say that. I'm pretty sure they did.
That was
I got to find that quote, but they did say that.
It's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah, I got it right here. It says, the Lakers role players did not take the, I think, jabs sitting down.
Yeah.
I don't know what Gibbs is. Is that really a word?
Jibes. I don't know.
Jibes? Oh, okay. That's why I don't know.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. No, but Brian Shaw said that O'Neal should talk to them face to face, and that the role players were scoring their 30 points. So it was up to O'Neal and Brian to score their 70. Are they aware that that's 35 each? That is astounding. I'm not good at math, but I don't think any two players have put up 35 each.
No.
That is absurd. That is absurd and too much to ask for, in my opinion.
You want to know, what do you think? What would you think? Who do you think scored the max amount together?
Has to be these guys.
I know. I think I know the answer, but I wanna confirm it with you. Like, what you think? You think it's these guys?
I think it's these two. They both had 30 together. That's 60, right?
I think it's the 2020 Rock. Rock is the Harden and Westbrook. Harden had 35. Westbrook had 27.
Fuck that. I don't
just because they lost? Nah, you can't
just
do that.
They're trash. Just because they're trash, and fuck them. And also, it took Westbrook forever to figure out to get to that 27. like because he had to like refigure out his role, and then he was like quasi center for a minute.
Did it. What you mean?
They decided with that team to just say we're not going to play with anybody over 6 sticks. That's insane. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Like you said, we're in fucking December. So Phil Jackson said, I think Kobe's kind of laying the ball on his teammates and saying, here's a shot for you. Here's a shot for you. Let's see you make these shots. He's been telling me he's trying to get the other guys started and involved in the game. And I think we have to go the other direction. We're not starting with Shaq and Kobe leading us in scoring and the other guys playing off their back. We have to get back to what's really the emphasis of our team. So Phil Jackson's even saying, where's my 70? Like, that's crazy. In my opinion, I agree with Kobe and Shaq. I think the role players have to step up. Yeah. Like, the others are crucial. The others are crucial.
Phil Jackson was doing that on purpose to like fuck with them? Because he's been
I wouldn't put that above him. You know,
because I feel like he used that as like, okay, if I say this, Kobe and Shaq are gonna try to wall out. Like he's just trying to like push their buttons.
These are bench stats, right?
Yeah.
These are the bench stats. Lakers bottom 5, I believe. Bottom 6, excuse me, in bench points per game, right?
Yep.
Rebounds. Not there for rebounds. I want to see the field goals and the field goal percentage. So.
Bottom 5.
Yeah, did I pass them? Yeah, they are.
Bottom
6 again. Bottom 6 again. But this is what I'm saying. They're really not. This is like the Clippers are in this. The Cavs. Like these are really bad teams for the most part here. That you can't win like this.
Yeah, facts.
It's just impossible. Like
you need the supporting cast matters a lot. Like
absolutely,
I just think that they felt like it didn't like that wasn't an issue in the past. And like,
or it was less of an issue. Like the guys were just putting up more points. And this is like one of the first teams that really was the talk of the town and like was projected to be in the finals every year, that really coasted in the regular season or used the regular season. Like it was so different than what we just seen with MJ and Magic and Larry, where they're trying to win. You know what I mean? This team's like, they want to do the winning, but there's just the regular season is the regular season, and they're having a hard time getting up for it. This is like one of the first times we're really seeing that.
But this
like we saw it in '93 with MJ for sure. But
but my whole thing is, do you not feel like that? Because a lot of people say Kobe was the leader in this team at this point, but was he? Because like I feel like if Kobe
I can't
was
say that with certainty.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but at this point, they're because I think it's just because the points, like Kobe's averaging 30 this year, right? I think, and then Shaq's averaging the 26.
Sure.
I feel like a lot of people tend to think that this is the time where Kobe and the Kobe Shaq. Well, and then there was also newspapers saying that this is Kobe's team now.
Yeah, well, that's what we saw at the end of last year, right? Some of that, or no, that's coming out.
No, this
right
year,
now,
that's
right?
This year.
Into January. Into January. Let's get there.
Yeah,
let's get there. But I think that's really important.
Yeah, but before we get there, I just wanted to. So I know we just mentioned like the team wasn't getting up for like wanting to play. I feel like that's more of a Shaq reason though, like because Shaq consistently every single year, besides the 2000 season, has always like not been ready by the beginning of the season, which kind of makes you feel like, all right, we're going to coast through this season, get through it, figure it out towards the end, and then start winning.
I think he would have done that regardless, but I also think he was directed to do that, and we found that out in previous episodes. During the championship years, he was directed to take time off, but he took more time off than people expected. That's for sure.
So you're saying you think it's Kobe and Shaq? I'm sorry, that it's Phil Jackson and Shaq would be the reasoning for this? Because I feel like if Kobe was the true leader of this team, I feel like he would have had that team more ready to play throughout the year.
I think it depends. I think it's one of those things where maybe you're right, because we do see that right in the like a decade from this point when Kobe does get his own team. They did take that identity. That's definitely fair. But to answer your question, I think it's Phil Jackson and Shaq, because as we've seen, Phil Jackson kind of lets the players do, you know what I mean? Like, he's unorthodox with it.
Yeah. Like, and I feel like it goes back to, I mean, it might be like, whether you like it or not, it might be like actually good coaching on Phil, because he probably looks at it as, all right, how's the team dynamic and how should this go? Because with the Bulls, he was like that. He pushed them just because of Jordan's mentality.
But that's what I was going to say. To your point, Jordan led the identity of that team. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think Shaq, to your point, is lead. I think you're right. I think that's accurate. So we're at a point here where in January, Shaq is going to get killed, absolutely destroyed in the media for being racist towards Yao Ming, who's a rookie, first overall pick in the league this year.
Time out. I was expecting the Boston thing. I wasn't thinking. That was hilarious.
This is next on the list.
Yeah.
So ESPN, January 10th, 2003. I'm going to do my best to say this word for word. I love everybody. Let's start there. I love everybody.
This is a quote from Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, this has a disclaimer. Don't kill the motherfucking messenger. That's the disclaimer. So the Lakers' Shaquille O'Neal said he was joking, not being a racist, when he used a mock Chinese accent while talking about Houston center Yao Ming. A columnist for Asian Week complained in his newspaper that O'Neal made several derogatory comments recently about Yao, with the Lakers center saying, quote, "Tell Yao Ming, Xing Chong Yang Wayasol."
Yo, are you guys alive? Dario, can you breathe?
Now, on NBA TV, on TNT, whenever there's a foreign guy, he always tries to use their language and say congratulations.
No, yeah, that's a fact. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, Shaq here. Two things. First thing is Coco se mate. The second thing is
what does that mean?
What does that
First
mean?
of all,
Luka knows what
I
it
want
means.
to know what it means.
Ask him. Ask him what it means.
Nice.
Giannis, this is Shaq. First, I want to say Sink, Cariateria, Ima Perifonius, Yosenia. Congratulations. How does it feel?
You know what you say. You got it confused.
Did you understand my Greek, brother?
No.
Yeah, I did a little bit.
But when I read it, I thought of Shaq immediately, like how he normally would do something, because he would like say something in their language.
Completely butchers it.
Yeah, but he does. Man. Yeah, but like when you're just saying that, like just.
That's gonna be really fun to listen back to. Me sounding like a fucking idiot. Literally in my notes, I wrote, "Holy shit, this is insane." Because it is. This is fucking crazy. And this is right before, so the 10th of January, they play Houston on the 17th. This is a week before they play.
Yeah.
So, and this is the game that Shaq has talked about right before his Hall of Fame speech, or during that Hall of Fame weekend, because him and Yao went in the same year. And Yao Ming is going to have 6 blocks in this game. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 blocks. 3 of them are on Shaq's first 3 shots.
Yeah.
And and I'm pretty sure we can confirm that with the quarter stats.
But Shaq put 30 on them, though.
Yes, he did. But he was 3 of 7 in the first quarter. And Yao Ming, yeah, there's the 3 blocks. So first 3 shots Shaq took, he blocked the fuck out of them. Yao did say that, what do you call it? he goes, Chinese is hard to learn. I had trouble with it when I was little.
Yeah.
Sometimes he was basically being like, I think he was joking. I don't think he was trying to be, a piece of shit, whatever. But Shaq's apology. I mean, if I was the first one to do it and the only one to do it, I could see what they're talking about. But if I offended anybody, I apologize. Ooh.
Yo, because
the early 2000s were way more of the wild, wild west than people give it credit for.
Yeah, I have a quick question for you, and this might be a cut later. So that's why after the few, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. This would be the perfect time for him to possibly cut, if anything." Yeah. Do you feel like Yao Ming is a Hall of Famer only because of like his Chinese, like the China, bringing that he bring? No,
no. I think this is a fair question.
I
think that's a huge reason he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't think there's anything racist about that. He literally brought the game to China. China. Yeah. Basketball is so fucking over in China because of Yao. And Akeem Olajuwon and Manute Bol did this for Africa in a very similar way.
And Dirk did it for the Europeans.
Dirky, yo!
Oh, my bad.
Not just Dirk, but like Drazen Petrovic. There are a lot of there were a few European guys from the 90s, right? So, what, did you get a bunch of money? What do you...
No,
did you win something?
I was thinking about a song.
You're stupid. But no, I think Yao... I don't know if he's only in the Hall of Fame because of that, but I think that's for sure... I feel like that's a major part of it. Because he absolutely is a major factor in the game going global.
Like, could you click on Yao Ming's profile real quick? Like, just for it's like, I know... But I'm just like, you look at this, and there's no way you think Hall of Famer.
Not for nothing, though. Not for nothing, and I'm not saying this to write a sack. God, he would be nasty in 2021.
He had a
imagine Gobert. Imagine Gobert with a jump shot.
But bro, like Yao Ming, like even if we talk about his best, he only had his most rebounds in his whole career was 11 rebounds a game, and he was 7'6". Like, he wasn't that great for his height.
Brook Lopez, 7 feet tall, averages like 3 rebounds a game.
Yeah, like, I don't understand.
But one of the first big men to really have a jump shot, like, at that size, probably the best jump shot. Maybe Manute Bol is a decent one too, but Yao Ming's was consistent. He was really hard to guard.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of his size. But
he shot 52% from the field as a 7'6" guy.
Yeah, but he's not just doing layups. He's taking shots it's a different game. It's not like Shaq's game. I get what you're saying. Like, he could dunk it at any point. But
like, Joker's just so much better than him. Like, I'm thinking about like a guy that's huge that can shoot like
Joker's not even close to being his size though.
Oh yeah, Joker's 6'10". Yeah,
I just think in 2021. I just think in 2021, Yao gets a 3-ball, like especially a corner 3.
Yeah.
And imagine I just really believe that. Imagine Gobert with a jump shot. That's what he would. That's what I think he would be, because he's getting 2 blocks a game for his whole career.
But not that athletic. Like, Gobert could like.
Gobert's not that athletic. He's 7'4" and he's long as shit. Like, I understand what you're saying. Yao's a little bit more of a statue, but I don't think Yao would be completely awful in 2021. Like, I don't. I think he would have trouble if there was a team that decided not to play a center.
Yeah.
But I think he would be able to dominate that guy offensively, for sure. Like, he was able to score. He could get buckets. But crazy. Shaq saying some wild shit. Jeff Van Gundy, who was a media analyst to this day.
Oh yeah,
right?
That was crazy to me. Like, but I guess like he always says wild shit though.
So he said Kobe and Shaq should not be all-stars, right? He said teams should not let players from teams with records below 500 make the all-star team, and that the Lakers' 19-23 record as of January 31st that should make the two ineligible. What have they done that's so spectacular to keep their team 4 games under 500. Absolutely wild.
But is that not some Hayden shit?
So Shaq and Kobe are number 2 and number 4 in points per game at this point.
Yeah.
As of January 31st. They're number 2 and number 4.
Time out. While they're that high in points per game, right? You got Kobe Bryant averaging 28, pretty much 27.7, whatever. 28, right. 8, and 7 with 2 steals and a block a game. Freaking Shaq is averaging 27, 11 with 3 assists, 2 blocks a game.
And this is why I feel strongly that it's the bench's fault that they're playing this. Like, I'm sure it's a turmoil thing, but it's also like you got to step the fuck out bench.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the chemistry is also obviously a thing too. Like, because you could argue if they had better chemistry, the bench would probably want to play harder for the team, whatever, which is true. That's usually what the chemistry matters the most, is with the bench and stuff. But it also could be like they're tired of all this fucking bickering and bullshit for the last 3 years. Like, we've already had to do this for the last 3 years, and they're just tired of it at this point.
And it's crazy because in January they are going to turn it around to an extent.
In January, or was it February?
Well, in February,
we know what happens in February, bro. We know what happens in February. Tell me. We know what happens in February, Brody.
No, that's in June is when that happens.
Nope. But I'm just saying, like this, like you get that kind of the Kobe in February, man. You get the GOAT that we know. This is the beginning of his GOATness. At this point,
they went 8
talking about the next MJ.
January.
We talking about the better MJ at this point, like the MJ that could actually shoot a 3.
They went 8 and 4 in January. Between January 1st and February 10th, the Lakers put up the most points per game by a team with 104. So they are starting to turn a corner. However, for everything that you just said about Kobe's February, Shaq's February is extremely different.
Yeah.
Extremely different. And let me ask you something. I don't know if you can answer this unbiasedly, but do you think
don't worry, I'll try.
Do you think the fact that Kobe is playing so well is affecting Shaq?
Yeah, because he a hating ass hoe.
I'm not even going to disagree with you. Like I could see a universe with that, and
like
I'm not sure how much of a coincidence this is that Shaq's really just coming using his fucking mouth again, and just like triggering everybody.
That's my issue though. Like I really do feel like, and I'm gonna do this forever. Like I just can't because it's always the rift between them. But Kobe was willing to put his ego aside to like and let Shaq, like in 01, Kobe was fighting for that he was having that power struggle. And at the end of that season, he realized, like as they started going into the postseason, he realized it makes more sense to push it through Shaq. And he did it. Sure, after a while he's still having this power struggle and trying to pull it. But it really does. Like
I don't think that was an easy thing for him to come to. I think it was harder than.
But he still did it though. That's my thing. Like,
correct.
He still did it. And my issue is, at this point, you really should look at it. If you're Shaq, I'm breaking down. Like I'm starting to get more injuries than I've ever gotten. This dude literally just is about to average 40 for a fucking month. And
he was too stupid at the time.
Yeah, but like that's my biggest issue is like a lot of people like to blame Kobe, but it's like Kobe was able to put his ego aside at points, and I feel like Shaq never was. It was always Shaq's way or the highway. That's
a fact, and that's an ongoing trend we've seen through the last however many seasons we've done now here on Apex. Is that's definitely something that. But here we go. I put this up.
Who did this before?
This is not his legacy breakdown. We're talking.
I know,
about
but
Shaq.
like, Will Chamberlain probably the only person we talking about right here because Because it's Kobe and Wilt, man.
Well, whatever. So, I can't because I can't because we'll be here for another 20 minutes on something that doesn't matter. So, O'Neal to the Chicago Sun-Times on the timing of his September 11th surgery. Here we go. This is a famous quote. This quote has been held against Shaq to this day. Since I suffered the injury on company time, why shouldn't I also be able to get surgery and do recovery on company time? If a regular worker gets injured and sick on his job, they force him to use his vacation time to have an operation and to get well? No. I shouldn't have to spend the whole year on the job. I deserve to enjoy some vacation time too. Right?
That's insane. Like, especially when you have this dude on your team, man. Not for nothing, bro, but the way he thinks, you just knew that was never gonna last. Like, just if you knew, like, Kobe Bryant, and then you just heard like his teammates saying that, it was just like they're not gonna. There's no way. It's done.
Yeah, and as he continues, especially since I've been working overtime, winning championships. Nobody's played more basketball than we have over the last 3 years. So if I had to do it over again, I would do exactly what I did. Why should I have been in a hurry to have an operation? The first doctors I talked to said I'd be out 6 to 8 months rather than the 2.5 I was out.
Yeah.
So this man, I think, is seeing Kobe Bryant completely take over, right? So this is Kobe's February 03. Let's look at Shaq's. 25, 10, not terrible stats, but when you compare him to the Bean, it's not remotely the same. Field goal attempts, right? Shaq's most 24. Let's see Kobe's least. Kobe's least was 20. This is kind of the point I'm getting at. Kobe is asserting his dominance here, and it is going okay. I want to see what the record is here.
I do want to add to like that Shaq's
11-3. So he's dominating, and it's going well. I feel like that's got to be eating the big pussy up. He takes a week off. Let's see. This is important because he's averaging only 22 points per game in February until he chooses to miss games, despite doctors saying that he's fine to play. That is fuck. If that happened today, oh my God. Oh my God.
But he was getting shit for it then too, though. Like, I feel like that
would be,
the media
Twitter
coverage
would just be
Twitter would make it. Yeah. But this is like Shaq saying what he said about the playoffs thing. Like, this was the first time I felt like you see a champion verbalize that. Like, these years of going, like, these playoff games are affecting us or whatever. Like,
I feel like Jordan in '93 was definitely talking about that. Yeah, because we covered it. Like, that team should have won way more games than it did.
Yeah, that's true.
The gambling and all this.
That's crazy because it was just a third of the three-peat. Like, Shaq's complaining in the fourth time, but like, I just feel like now when you think about that, like when you really think about all these players, and then kind of at some point they start breaking down. Like Kevin Durant broke down, freaking Shaq broke down. I'm sure Jordan probably would have broke down at some point because just injury. Like, come on, and then but like to think of Magic Johnson, like he was going to the finals a majority of his career, and he like for the most part barely had injury like that. That's crazy. He only had that hammy situation.
Yeah, and that was and he still made a finals after that.
Yeah.
After motherfucker said he was washed out. But Phil Jackson on Sunday night, someone playfully suggested Shaq had a bout with Ming-itis because they're playing Houston during the stretch.
Yeah.
That's fucking another Phil stirring the pot. Fucking shit stirring. One last stab at motivation that apparently did not register with O'Neal at all. I tried to suck it up and be out there with the guys, but when Kevin Willis was dusting my ass up the court the other day. So
this is what I thought you were going to talk about before the whole Yao Ming thing. I thought you were going to talk about this because that was funny as hell.
So Shaq played 40 minutes, 21 points on 19 shots. What did Kevin Willis do?
I think he said that he was
Kevin Willis, 80.
Outrunning.
No, he only had 9 points.
No, but he's saying that he was
destroying 28 and 20
on 39% shooting. Stop playing. Yo, don't. You know I don't like the Spurs like that, man.
It's still 20 rebounds. Crazy.
But the whole Kevin Willis thing was just he was outrunning Shaq like down the court. He was saying that was like his big issue with it.
Yeah, he's 40 years old and he's killing me up and down, up the court. I only get 5 rebounds. I'm slow to the ball. I just look bad, real bad.
Yeah,
crazy.
And I feel that I could understand that, which it could be true. Like he played 40 minutes too. Like maybe he was like he thinks he needs a couple games. Like, is that wrong though? If you feel like you're hurting your team, is that wrong?
I guess if he feels like
because they won 2 out of the 3 without him.
Yeah, but they're blowing him the fuck out here, so he's only playing 30 minutes in these games. So it's not like he's putting more stress on it.
Yeah,
like I don't know. I get what you're saying. I can appreciate that. Kobe, once again, every season for us is a Jeopardy season. Now it just seems like the odds are stacked against us. Now we're in Jeopardy again. That's what defending a title is. This guy is just obsessed with like the us against the world thing. Yeah. So obsessed. The Lakers are 26 and 25 after 51 games.
Well, when you think about it, he's fucking like 23. So like that's how at that time we were saying YOLO, so that makes sense, right?
But they're 26 and 25. It's crazy. And Shaq's getting killed by the LA media. They're Bill Plaschke, who is a guy. He was a guy on the Round the Horn for ESPN. I'm pretty sure he still does that show every once in a while. But he made sure LA Times columnist wrote, "There is no injury. There is no physical reason he couldn't play, according to the doctor." Phil Jackson said he just has to make the decision himself. "We cannot question the pain. It was so bad he received a shot of cortisone in his big right toe before the game. There's nothing that anyone can say about the pain. But there is something that we know about playing in pain. It was something that has..."
Sorry. Now that because the way you're saying this, we have seen this before though. Kawhi Leonard in 2017 or 2018 did this, and he didn't get shit for it.
Yeah, it was. He absolutely did get shit for it.
By who? Besides,
his team, his whole team.
But
get the fuck out of here. Tony Parker was
but
literally
not by
like
the
my
media
injuries.
As much.
Tony Parker was literally like, my injury's 1,000 times worse than this.
Get
the fuck
that's
out
true.
Here.
But like not by the media. The media wasn't killing them though.
You had me bugging when you said we've seen this before, and I was like, have we? I don't know if we've seen this before. Before this point, and then you say Kawhi. I was like, oh, okay. That's like in 20 years from now. But no. We've seen Shaq play with a toe so badly in need of surgical repair, he limped up the court. We've seen him run off the floor with a sliced thumb in the first half and return to dominate in the second half. We have seen him win championships with bad ankles, sore wrists, stomach badly inflamed by whatever bullshit. But now in the biggest game so far this season, to not see him at all, O'Neal didn't talk to reporters beforehand. So this is still happening. He's still not talking to reporters. We covered this months ago. He's still not talking to reporters.
Yeah, fair.
And Phil Jackson's like, we need him out there on the floor if we want to win. Jackson said for the umpteenth time, we are 30% of our club if he's not there. We're not even 50% like we were last year, but 30.
Where he's saying all of this while Kobe going 11-3, bitch ass motherfucker.
They are 23 and 15. They are 23 and 15 when Shaq plays. They are 4 and 10 without him so far this year.
But wait, what? How?
Yep. This is
well, two out of those 4. I guess 2 out of those 4 games were in this month. Then.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Correct. These 2. Oh, here we go. This is your favorite. This will be your favorite part of the article. Maybe the biggest shame about Shaquille O'Neal's absence Tuesday was that he couldn't see what the rest of the crowd at Staples Center saw. Kobe Bryant going up and down the floor, scoring, diving, dealing, limping. There you go. I thought that's what you were going to say when you cut me off, and I was going to get mad at you for not letting me finish because I knew I was going to get there.
Man, Kobe over here looking like the GOAT. Like, you can't tell me at this point, like that whole you the next MJ, that was 100%. That was in full throttle at this point.
So by February 22nd, the Lakers officially became Kobe Bryant's team this week after Shaquille O'Neal refused to play, despite the doctors saying he was physically able to. As I watched Kobe limp his way to 40 points against a Utah team a day after scoring 52 in a must-win game over Houston, it left no doubt in my mind. No more option 1 and 1A. Now it's Kobe, option 1, and Shaq, option 2. And the big whatever, better get used to it. Flame sessions.
Let's go.
Flame
That's a fact, though. On Shaq. That was a fact.
Fortunately, Shaq is a sensitive man, and I'm sure he read everything that I just read. Because once March happens, he's going to be top 3 in points per game, rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And absolutely give the fattest cock to anybody in his way for the rest of the season. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have a pretty good record. So Shaq's 30 and 11 and a half, but 30 and 12 with the roundup, right? 60% shooting, 2.6 blocks per game. Totally turned it up to playoff Shaq. Basically, this is the guy we've seen over the last few years in the postseason. 100%.
Yep.
And just astounding.
Which goes back to your point, though. Like, he probably was, like, just hating in February because he was on bullshit.
Like, it's just, that's what pisses me off about the whole thing, because I think everything in terms of shit talking that he got was definitely deserved because of this. Like, outside of T-Mac, who put up 34 a game, it's just Shaq here. It's just Shaq. Kobe still at 28 a game. Yeah. And he's going to be number 1 in field goal percentage.
I feel like history, man. History just gonna prove like Kobe was right, man. Kobe, like out of this whole shit, man. Shaq, you my man's, but you an asshole, bro.
Like, yeah, I mean, that's definitely the theme of his. When it comes to his teams obliterating, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah,
Shaq's the man, but you are an asshole.
And that's the thing. I feel like that's where Shaq, like, there's like positives and negatives about him. Like, his positives are, you get this huge peak when he's on 100.
One of the greatest peaks of anybody ever. I think that's important to know.
Possibly the greatest. This is probably the greatest, arguably the greatest finals performer ever.
We talked about that to finish last year.
Yeah.
I want to know, is Shaq all NBA first team?
For sure.
That's what I want to
I'd be shocked if he's not.
Well, he hasn't played that much.
There's no other center averaging 26 points a game. There's no way in hell that if he's not, I'm confused.
Let's see. 0203. Yes, it is Shaq.
All right, let's see what Shaq's. Does this make a little bit more sense? Probably, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, here you go.
All right, Kobe 599. All right, I want to see. All right, I'm like, how is Shaq getting more first team votes than Kobe when literally Kobe's year versus Shaq year is significant? Damn, bro, it's still 30 and 28. Like, that's what they were averaging together.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's
it just flip flopped from 01. Because 01, I think Shaq was at 30 and Kobe was at 28 or something.
No.
They were both at 28. They were both at 28.
Yeah. And Shaq's going to finish 5th in MVP voting. Kobe's going to finish 3rd. Despite the fact that they finished, 5th for the conference?
This is the first year that Kobe's ahead of Shaq in MVP.
Yes. And ahead of Shaq in points per game, right?
Yeah. Which it goes back to my point. Once Shaq didn't let that loose, look at what happens. Abandoned ship, guys. Coming up.
The Lakers are 37-13 after December, right? So for the year of 2003 regular season, second best record in the league. So they really did turn it around, right?
Yeah.
Let's move that up to January. I wonder if they're going to be any closer. So, goddamn, the Spurs are so flame. Yeah. But still, 30-9 from the Lakers to finish this out here.
It's still close. It's just a 2-game difference. Yeah.
Absurd. Second in scoring. With basically, I want to see let's get the where's the bench stats? Because I want to see if the bench got better. I thought they were higher, but maybe I was.
Yeah, it's 20.9. No, they had 20.9 points per game.
Wow, yeah. Still, they got even worse.
Yeah.
That's crazy, and they still won. Holy fuck. So Phil Jackson was right. Phil Jackson was right. That's why.
Nah, hell no. You want to know why?
Which is astounding, because I don't agree with them, but I guess give it to more Kobe and Shaq. Crazy.
No, I don't think so, because in reality, they don't win because of it. When they had the bench filled out and they felt like they had one of the best benches in the league, they were winning championships easily.
Right. But we're going to see that as we enter the postseason. But I want, so as we were looking at before, to finish out this year, they're basically getting you 58 points a game.
Yeah,
that is amazing. That is fucking amazing.
And right. I don't think any teammates have done that consistently for that many years. They did it for pretty much 3 straight years.
Yeah, I would like to get the numbers on duos like that.
Yeah,
not that
cool. Consistently. I don't think. I can't.
It would be fun to put them. It would be fun to do like a hypothetical 2-on-2 tournament, right?
We did that a little bit, but
duos.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, come on, Kobe and Shaq. That's not even. Come on, man.
Yeah, it'd be fun though. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to put it together. Just, I think it would. I think there would be. It would just be interesting. But let's go to the playoffs.
Yo, is this the first year with the 7-game series?
I think yes, because they're gonna beat the Lakers. Are gonna get through the Timberwolves. The Lakers end up being the 5 seed, right? They're gonna get. It's the 4-5 matchup. Historically, the most competitive matchup in the first round.
Makes sense.
I mean, but yes, to answer your question, because this is going to finish in 6 games.
They make it seem like this matchup, like the Lakers were making it a big deal because they were like, usually the first round we don't have to worry as much and we don't have as long of a series. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock, you weren't facing good teams. You were facing 7 or 8 seeds. Like,
do you think they should go back to the 5-game series for?
No, I think 7-game series, because I truly think that a 7-game series shows who's the better team.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think they should try to shorten it. I want as many playoff games as humanly possible.
Yeah, I think
especially today.
Yeah, I think 95% of the time, I'd say the better team wins in a 7-game series. Like, with some of obviously the injuries in between series, I feel like it kind of messes with it. But and those are the 5%. I think you get 5% of that, and then for the most part, the rest of it is,
But even in those situations, this is the last thing, then we'll move on. Even in those situations, it's interesting because, like, you get to see how much value that player adds to the team in those injury situations. Because sometimes you see, like, the Grizzlies and John Morant, for example. Like,
literally, I was just about to talk.
Like, that's the first one that popped. That's in my head for current time.
Yeah, and that's 2000. This is 2022 that we're talking about.
Yes. So the Grizzlies in 21-22 went like 20-5 in the regular season without John Morant, which fucking makes no sense. Still doesn't make sense to me. And then without John Morant in the fucking playoffs, they blow out Golden State.
They went 1-1. Yeah,
like a absolute massacre. Yeah. They were up by 50. I feel like we're going to be hearing about that till the end of time.
Yeah. And it was a dog, like, wasn't it a dogfight the last game too? It wasn't like Golden State just straight up, like, destroyed them.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was a close game. It was at least within 10.
But let's look at this Minnesota team. So, Kevin Garnett climbing to the apex of his career, right? Yeah. 23, 13 and a half, and 6 with a steal, a steal and a half and a block and a half per game, shooting 50% from the field. Wow.
Would you say the next year is KG's apex?
Yeah, he's going to win MVP. And he's going to do very similar statistics, but he's going to raise his scoring a hair. But 50% shooting on 23, 13 and a half, and 6 is outstanding. Where did he finish for MVP?
For a power forward, though?
I think that's really good. You don't think that's good? 6 assists out of the power forward position?
No, for sure. I mean the 50% shooting.
I still think that's good. You got to remember, Kevin Garnett's not a... Like, yeah, he's physical and emotional, but he's a shooter. Yeah, I feel like if this Kevin Garnett played now, he would shoot the corner 3 and had more of an outside game than he even had. He would probably be at this point.
He'd be one of the better power forwards in the league for sure.
Absolutely, he's one of the better power forwards in this league, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
So just when we're looking at, and yeah, Kevin Garnett's going to be second in MVP voting. That's what I thought. In a close matchup with Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The win shares are very close too.
Yeah. But this is a really good Minnesota team. Yeah. In comparison to other Minnesota teams that Kevin Garnett is on. You got Wally Szczerbiak, you got Troy Hudson, more on him later. Rasho Nesterovic.
Did you say
you can only listen to that in Stephen A voice? Huh?
Did you say mourn him later?
Yes. Troy Hudson? Yes, mourn him later.
Oh, I thought you said mourn. Like we're mourning him. I was like, yo, when did he die?
When did he pass away? Did I miss this? I was like,
who is this guy anyways?
Like, I mean, rest in peace, bro. But no. So I think this team against this Lakers squad that we just spent the last hour looking at how they've been very much
up and down, very
fucking roller coaster. It's just Kobe and Shaq versus other teams.
Yeah,
going into this postseason.
Yeah, for sure.
So game 1, Lakers wiped the floor with the Timberwolves. Shaq had 32, 10, and 5 blocks, 65% shooting, 10 of 13 from the free throw line. On the day Shaquille O'Neal is born, and right after his grandfather's passing, all in the same period of time. So he's telling teammates. New York Times said that Rick Fox was quoted. He didn't look fatigued, tired, or exhausted, but he did say, "I'm going to need you tomorrow because I don't know what I'm going to feel like," which is, sounds like a guy who's mourning shit. It's like a combination of sadness and extreme joy because you got your son and you got your grandpa dying. That's like a crazy combination of emotions, in my opinion.
For sure.
Kobe, 39 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 16 of 30 from the field. Not bad.
Like straight go, man. Stop playing with us.
So Kevin Garnett,
modern day MJ. Well,
Kevin Garnett basically gets his season averages 23, 14, and 7 with 2 steals and 2 blocks. That's crazy. Yeah. That's basically exactly what he averaged in the regular season.
You know what that was telling him? That what you did in the regular season ain't enough, boy.
Gotta step that shit up.
Yeah.
Fucking
bring your big balls up, man.
So Shaq, after game 1, we have 2 great weapons on this team, he said. If you double and triple me, Kobe's going to get off. My teammates played great. They played excellent. If we keep playing like this, we'll be fine. I'm bringing that up right now for a very particular reason. Because we're going to see later in this series just a different, mindset, a slightly different mindset.
Yeah.
But right now he loves his teammates, loves Kobe, loves what's going on.
Yeah, when you're winning, it's literally like when you're winning, I'm happy as shit. When I'm losing, like it's like literally a big kid.
They always, they always say winning cures all.
And then once you lose that game, you break that controller right on you.
In definitely Shaq's case, it's more like just shit breaking everywhere. But the funeral for Shaq's grandfather is during the day of Game 2.
Game 2, yeah.
So Game 2 is going to be 9:30 Eastern time that night. Really late for a game. And the funeral is Tuesday in South Carolina, and they are in Minnesota. So at least he doesn't have to fly all the way back to LA. He's just got to go to the middle of the country. But still, I got to imagine that this Game 2 and what happened in it is basically, even though Shaq 27-14, right? Yeah. I got to imagine his whole situation is affecting what's going on the court for him.
Yeah, like a lot of the times, like a lot of these basketball players, they don't think about anything but the game. But I'm sure, like, especially in the playoffs, like in the playoffs, they're like so locked in. But I'm sure going into this game, Shaq is like more so thinking about, like, obviously his grandpa and like his family at this point.
So KG heard you loud and clear, and said, "You're right. I do need to step it the fuck up." And says 35, 20, and 7 with 2 steals and a block, shooting 71%, 15 of 21 from the field. Now, the reason why I said more on that later, Troy Hudson is going to be known as the Laker killer after this series. That they lose.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. You notice that, like, we in modern day, like, we don't say anything like that. Like, anymore, like, you know how, like, they used to, no, there was no Kobe killer. But Laker killer, I guess, like.
There were Kobe stoppers. There were a few of those.
Kobe stoppers. I feel like there were other, like, killers, like, I guess the snipers.
I mean, there was the team called the Bullets. So.
Bullets. Well, I just meant,
definitely more.
Okay. I guess I feel like there was more killers in the name of things before.
Yeah, well, killing in general, and like it was just cooler to say that.
Yeah, I know.
Now we just don't use
soft. No,
we don't use gun talk anymore.
I'm
joking. Look, even this will get us demonetized. The finger guns. But
are you gonna blur yourself? You better blur your ass. He's gonna blur.
Unintentional blur.
Blur me, motherfucker.
Speaking of shots and missed shots, 27 points for Kobe on 28 shots.
Russell literally be cocky.
So bad.
There's no. Literally.
Let's see what he did in the fourth quarter. Maybe he redeemed himself.
This is his modern day.
8 points, 2 of 6, only 2 threes.
This is his modern day, like what he does to Jason Tatum. Like it's like you're doing this on purpose with me.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant. You're right. Just like Jason Tatum, good but not great. I agree. So next.
All right, you might be able to talk about Jason Tatum like that. I'm cool with that, but don't be talking about my boy.
You threw up the lob, and I dunked it. Anyways, Game 3 is an OT thriller, right? OT thriller. What do you call it? Kevin Garnett once again shows up. 33 and 14, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 4 blocks in the game. Where's my man, the Laker killer? Laker killer.
Do you think
27 points, 23 shots.
Oh, that's crazy. It's back to back. But do you think Kevin Garnett, this is like his breaking out?
That's a great question. Let's look at his career.
I know,
that's
bitch.
A really good question. No, it's a good. I think he's stupid. I think he had a pretty damn good year. Like since the Lakers won their first championship, I think Garnett has been emerged as a star player. But when we look at the playoffs, he takes a very obvious leap this year. Yeah. Even though he averaged 18 rebounds a game, but he keeps getting eliminated in the first round. Like, and lots of first round exits here.
But this is literally he's doing it to the champ, to the former champs. I think that's what puts you on. It puts you on that main stage because at the end of the day, the Lakers stage is the biggest stage.
This is definitely his best career playoff outing to this point, for sure.
It goes back to like that Embiid thing, like Lindsey's Embiid, the fake Embiid take last year. Remember when?
It wasn't fake. It was real.
You said he broke out.
He did.
That's the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah,
Kevin Garnett.
He broke. Yeah, Kevin Garnett. If that's what we're talking about, then yeah, I'm cool with that.
So all logic works. Awesome. I'm glad we're all agreed.
Julius Randle.
Shut the fuck up. What did he? What? Who is that? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know who he is this year, but last year he broke out.
Yeah, well.
So here's a great Kevin Garnett quote. This is after game 2, but this is still a great Kevin Garnett quote. They're going to have to really stab us, cut our hearts out, put us in the mold.
I read this.
So aggressive.
I read this. I pictured him like he was like ripping their throat while he was saying it.
Yeah, let me read it properly. They're gonna have to cut our throats out. This is a team of full pride, and we have lots of character, and they're going to have to cut our throats off. That's KG. That's how KG probably said it in the locker room. No doubt about it. Lots of yelling. Anything is possible, yell. Fucking. He was going off.
Sweaty as shit. He looked like literally if y'all was in jail, he would eat your food.
Like he just got out of the shower, but he smells terrible somehow.
If KG was in jail, he would eat your food. 100%. Just give me that milk, man.
So,
hey, you want those brownies?
Fuck that shit.
Hey, you like that cheesesteak, boy? You like that cheesesteak? Eat your fucking food, nigga.
Oh my god. So, Phil Jackson, after game 3 and this overtime loss, says, we saw some fear in their eyes on Sunday. They were confused a little bit. They came back out with renewed vigor on Tuesday and carried that momentum into Thursday night's game. Everything turns on a trifle. On a trifle? I don't know. That doesn't sound like it makes sense. But Kobe makes a free throw. We're all laughing about the great comeback we had. So that's the way things are in basketball.
Yeah. And
it's a fair point.
This is Kobe Bryant's beautiful comments on this. He was asked politely if he still felt like a champion. And Kobe just lifted his shoulder, stared down his leaner body, and said, I don't know. Do I look like a champ?
I don't know if he said it exactly like that.
No, that's exactly how he did it. He said,
gazed down on his own penis.
Yeah, that's what he said.
At the reporter, gazed him in the eye and said,
yeah, he looked up
you like this dick? Do I suck that shit?
He looked down, up and down, like, fuck boy, man. You know who I am? I'm a champ, man. We about to fuck him up. We just giving them a little bit of lead. We trying to fuck him up.
So, Rick Fox, again being quoted, right now we're a different team than last year's team or the last 3 championships.
You weren't even there. No. You just sat there, buddy.
We're going to have to make our own way through this. The regular season wasn't as pretty as everybody hoped it would be. Maybe the playoffs won't be either. We're going to have to find ways to win. No shit, you're going to have to find ways to win. And you're going to have to beat a team with a guy who after 2 games gets called Laker killer. It
literally sounds like, I swear to God, it sounds like all of them are saying, oh my God, competition. Like, that's what it sounds like throughout all these quotes.
The league is definitely, and the West specifically is definitely better. Besides Kobe, who's like, feed me. Yeah. Feed me all the competition. Feed me your hate. I need it. Fucking So, finally the Lakers tie the series here in game 4 after a major fourth quarter comeback. And Shaq and Kobe are going to combine for 60% of the team's points. They both cracked 30. Shaq, 34, 23, 6 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. Savage. Kobe, 32 points, 16 free throws made out of 17. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Also took 25 shots, but I saved that for the end. So I want to see the fourth quarter because it was a massive fourth quarter comeback.
Yo, you a hoe. Like, I'm not even joking.
It's just for you.
You a hoe.
So Kobe,
getting
to the free throw line. Lakers conspiracy theorists, you're going to be having a couple of these moments here. Because this is going to be the first time we're going to see a major free throw discrepancy between the Lakers and their opponents, right? So I just thought I'd bring it up. It's an important thing to note, like, because we're going to see it again. I'm just like saying.
It's not like
Minnesota shot 20 for the game. Lakers shoot 35. And Shaq and Kobe combined for over 30.
Okay, so quick question, just a quick question.
Here we go.
Where does Shaq chill at? The paint. And guess what they're doing? They swarming him, triple teaming, double teaming, everything.
Yeah, no. I don't have a problem with that. He shot less than Kobe in this.
Yeah, and you want to know why? It's because Kobe driving to the basket. Kobe's trying to get, Kobe's being mad aggressive right now.
Oh, well, they were also playing desperate. But look, 3 out of 5 starters had 5 fouls. 4 guys on the team had 5 fouls.
Yeah,
so they were getting their whole line in foul trouble.
And it's going from guards to people in the paint. You want to know why? Because it's literally Kobe and Shaq that they have to deal with.
Yeah. The Timberwolves cut the lead to 1 when Garnett hit a 3-pointer with 35 seconds remaining. But after Shaq scored on a tip-in, Garnett missed 2 free throws with 15 seconds left. The Wolves, who committed 16 turnovers, were fucking done. So, there you go. Shaq, though, not doing this. Shaq being clutch, tip-ins. That's sick. Good for him.
Oh, but KG, I'm sure that haunts his soul.
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was thinking about committing seppuku after this game for missing those free throws.
Don't say that. I don't think. Hey, I think we gotta mark that future Russell.
What do you mean? It's in Cards Against Humanity. We're good. It's on the list.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you can say that.
Is our barometer really Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah, absolutely. When the penises kiss, we can say that too. It's on.
What about Bukkake? Can we say that too?
No, that's the line. Yeah, I'm gonna have to censor you now. But no. So series is tied. Shaq dominant. Phil Jackson saying our bench gave us a big game. And again, more great comments to the bench. Our bench gave us a big game. Nobody in double figures. Only Brian Shaw, who happened to hit 2 threes and get lucky.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of rebounds.
What you think about it, like they only scored 102 points and the bench scored 25% of the points.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
why he
not. But Shaq, I told the guys before the game, get me the ball and move out of the way. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
Again, important to note for what we're going to see in a minute.
Like, be honest, like, throughout this whole, like, discovery, like, have you hated Shaq more and more?
This is one of those things that because of, like, I obviously knew a decent amount of these things. Not at this level, admittedly. Not at this level.
Yeah.
Because we try on this program. But I did think that because of the guy I've seen on TNT for a decade now, like, he's so fucking sensitive and petty that I figured now being able to look at that under this lens that we have now, instead of him being a feared fucking dominant mastodon, him being fucking petty white, it's way more interesting to look at it under that lens. So basically the lens that Charles Barkley sees Shaq in. Like, it makes Shaq look way more, and I think accurately so, like a petulant child. And I've said this throughout multiple seasons. He comes off like a big baby. And I think he could have been seen as legitimately the greatest player ever if he wasn't such a fucking little bitch. He could have more rings than MJ, legitimately, if he wasn't a little bitch. He could have had it all. He literally could have had it all. Like,
yeah.
And that's why people like Bill Simmons say he could have graduated with a 4.0, but he said, fuck it, I'm going to chill and get a 3.4. Like, I think he literally could have been the greatest player ever if he didn't act like a baby in many scenarios we've run into over these few years.
Yeah.
Like, it makes him who he is, and I don't know if he's as entertaining otherwise, but
I just feel like my only thing about Shaq, like, cause I guess I just don't understand why, like, what's the difference between him and MJ besides MJ winning more, I guess, winning more. Same thing.
To an extent, MJ's team.
He was an asshole. Like, I think
he was an asshole,
Shaq.
but the teams, and you can argue. The argument could be made that this also is the way it is because MJ left at the right time. You could say that.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
his teams never really imploded. Like, they never really imploded on themselves. The core was always the same core. Like, yeah, there was a lot of infighting going on, sure, but like, I don't know. They never. And the media probably for sure covered it differently. That's definitely fair.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, the media has been like the way that the media is covering them now versus 10 years ago is significant.
I just think MJ takes things personally, sure, but I wouldn't call MJ a baby by any stretch of the imagination.
I just feel like it's his perception of what.
And with
what
Shaq,
people,
Shaq is a big. It's just he's a big baby. MJ is a competitive asshole, and we agree. Like, I'm not. I had to stop and think about it because there is, in a lot of ways, I agree with what you're saying, but it comes down to the fact that the word that I think of with Shaq is large baby. And I don't think that he was perceived that way at this time. Like, they're in the moment. Like I said, I'm looking at it now that I feel like I know Shaq a little better as a human being because of all the time he spends on TV and because of all the interviews that he does. You get a better idea for the guy. And you can tell he's a sensitive baby. With MJ, it just comes
hidden.
From,
he's just hidden.
I don't know. I don't think. You think MJ was a baby?
Yes, but listen.
Okay. So then Kobe also a baby.
Kobe, what? Yes, Kobe. Okay. But the whole thing is, I love.
As long as that's cool, then sure.
Yes,
as long as we're on that same wavelength. I don't look at Kobe as a baby either. I don't agree with either.
And you want to? So this is the reasoning, because when you really break it down, their actions all did similar things. The only difference is when they spoke to the media, they sounded differently. The way Shaq went to the media versus the way Michael Jordan and Kobe went to the media, for the most part. Kobe was
way more confidence, my opinion.
Well, it was also
than Shaq, who just always appeared like there are guys other than Shaq in history that have appeared this way. But
yeah,
I just believe
Shaq was a blame deflector.
And like sensitive Sally. So here we go. Shaq and Kobe beefing. No, because this matters to what we're talking about right now. Shaq and Kobe beefing again after Game 4 because Shaq is an asshole. Like, they won this game. They win the game. Right? Shaq starts with 15 points in the first quarter here. Right? 15 points. In the fourth quarter, which, as we've looked through the last 3 championship seasons, that's when Kobe does his damage. That's when he's been doing his damage. That's consistent throughout the entire legacy breakdown here. Yeah. Like, now in the fourth quarter, Shaq gets 7, Kobe 10 of 10 from the line, goes 1 of 5, but gets to the free throw line a bunch of times, gets 13 points. Shaq has the audacity to say, if I can get the ball in position to where I can do something, I usually set the tone for how my team is going to play. but I'm not the kind of big man to run up and down the court 10 to 15 minutes without touching the ball. I'm not a token big man. Like, shut up. You won the game and your team is doing well. Like, no, why?
But I understand.
That's some baby shit.
Like, but my whole thing is I can understand exactly where he's coming from in this sense, because I think he's looking at it as the bigger picture. That team doesn't win without Shaq being who he's supposed to be. It's proven. Right. Like when game 2, Shaq wasn't himself, they get blown out. Like, right. But and in this case, when he's talking about, because that thing matters, those little mistakes that they're not getting it to him in the right position throughout the games, that matters, because when it's time, when you're facing when it's do or die and you have to make that play, and if you still fucking that play up, that matters a lot. And especially like in terms of what they were arguing about Shaq in the post versus Shaq cutting. That was the big argument between.
That's what Shaq we got. That's the next quote. So yeah. So that's Kobe's counterpoint to that, essentially, because and you could see Shaq saying this: "Just give me the ball in the post, I'll do the work. No, it's fine. Like, just give me the ball." Fucking, and Kobe's like thinking about it strategically, which he does. Yeah. And it's like, nah, dude. And I have a tendency to agree with Kobe here. When Shaq is on the move, he can do way more damage. You just can. Look at Steph Curry in the exact opposite game, right? The exact opposite game to Shaquille O'Neal. He is amazing, not because of what he does with the ball in his hands, but because of what he can do with the ball out of his hands and the off-ball movement. And I think that's what Kobe's trying to say here, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. But and I think it's a great point.
Steph ain't the same if that rhythm isn't there. Like, when you think about it, the reason he could be that great is because he got good, like Draymond Green passing him the ball right where he's supposed to get it. The argument Shaq's making is, when I try to do what you're telling me to do, you're not getting me the ball in the right positions. You're not getting it to me. It's. I
don't know if he's right though. You think he's right to feel that way? I don't think he's correct. I think he's just flat out wrong. I don't think positioning matters? His opinion is wrong. I think Shaq's opinion is wrong. I think when he then turns around and then says to the media, well, Shaq's got to get the damn ball. Shaq's not a guard. Shaq don't bring the ball up. Bring the ball up and throw it to me. That's time. Wrong. Shut the fuck up. That's what he means. And you can't change. That's when it goes from we're saying all these things that are hypothetical and that are hypothetical within the game. That's when it goes from, okay, maybe I could see Shaq being like that too. Oh no, Shaq's just a fucking asshole and he wants the ball every time and he's being a baby. Once again, the B word. He's being a baby. It's just stupid. Meanwhile, Kobe is quoted. Like, there's no getting around it. It's you can say all you want about what Kobe does behind the scenes. He's quoted in the media explaining exactly why he feels the way he feels. Yeah. Can't believe I'm the one defending Kobe here.
No, I'm not. I don't think Kobe's. My whole thing is I don't think Kobe's wrong. I think the way he's approaching it is right. I could understand Shaq's frustrations, though, is what I'm saying. I think if you don't get the ball,
I get where you're coming from, but I don't know if I feel the same way.
When you're cutting, if you cut and you literally take a step extra than when you feel like you got to get the ball, that fucks up your whole shit. You can't dribble and take the same layup you were gonna take, because that 2-step is not the 2-step anymore. Like, those are the little things that I'm sure Shaq is bitching about here. Like, that rhythm matters a lot, especially in basketball.
I guess. I feel like how much...
I used to get frustrated like that just off of, and I went like this. I wanted it by once I touch the free throw line, once I'm, passing the free throw line, you got to pass that ball. Because if not, if you pass it to me while I take a step or two more, I'm literally going baseline already. Like, it literally messes up the whole rhythm of the move. And I can see, because Shaq, what Kobe wants is Shaq to cut. He takes a step, and then now you got one person that has to stop Shaq at the rim, rather than doing the post game, like a post up, and having 2 or 3 people swarming them.
Yeah, and it's also like Shaq's trying to say, I don't like the triangle on my side of the post because there's 2 guys there. And it's just like, what the fuck do you want, dude? Like, he becomes very frustrating to me because Shaquille and I talk about how to get him the ball. He doesn't like having the triangle built on his side when he's in the post, but I tell him, no, you got to stay there because that's the only way you're going to be open. If we just throw it to you in the post situation, then they're just going to run at you and swarm you. It's exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? We're trying. This is the part that gets me mad. He's got 34 points on 26 shots. Like, I get that he wants to get to 50, but you still won the fucking game. So, like, I don't know. I just think it's bitching for the sake of bitching.
Yeah. And I do think that he doesn't like how it's becoming, because it is starting to center more towards both of their teams.
Sure.
But you need both of them. If you don't have both of them going crazy, then there's going to be an issue. And I think he's realizing that, and he doesn't like that.
I think the reason
in the past that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Even in the 03 playoff run, like that was like Kobe was still doing his thing, but it was mainly when Shaq was dominant. They were, the best team in the league.
Yes, and I think if Shaq was a little bit more like Kareem, I think this is a great way to put it, because like we're gonna see. Obviously, Shaq has hit his apex, and he's still one of the most dominant players in the league. But he's starting to go this way, right? And we're going to see that hit hard over the next 3 to 4 years here. And I think if he had just accepted that I got this guy, and
this is what he says all the time.
I can pick my spot. It's what he says now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what he says now. But the way he acts, look, these are two statements, right? Kobe says, if you cross the lane and get it on the move, they can't do anything about that. Tonight he caught it on the move when we went to work. O'Neal responds, as soon as I'm open, I would like to have the ball. I can't make a move when I get a messed up pass.
And that's where I'm interpreting what he's saying, though. Like,
yeah,
he's right, though. Like, if once he gets that cut and he's open, you give him the ball, then you don't wait until the guy's almost there. Like, that matters a lot. Like, that's where I can understand where he's coming from. It sounds like he's being an asshole, but he's right, though. Like, that's the only thing.
I get what you're saying. To me, it just seems like a ton of appeasement. Like where if that's Kareem in that spot, they win the game. They probably continue to win. And, the conversation kind of dies after that point.
But it wasn't, but you can't, I don't agree with that. Cause I think Kareem, when he was the main leader, that his teams fucking sucked. The reason Kareem was able to skate around with all his bullshit appeasement that people had to do for him was because you literally had Magic Johnson, who made everything.
But I mean, Shaq,
the glue guy.
Shaq had his
Shaq
own guys
was that glue guy
too.
Though. Like for the most part, Shaq is what keeps these teams like all happy and shit. A lot of the times, like now it's starting to look worse. Yeah,
it's just astounding considering all the bitching he does. Like he's just a fun-loving guy, so people obviously like him. Man, if Shaq ever meets me, he's like never gonna speak to me. But fucking,
he might kill you. And I can't do anything about it.
It's okay. I might be able to run faster than him.
I agree with Dario though.
You agree with Dario?
Yeah, because I feel like there's a decided difference between you guys aren't getting me the ball when I'm open or in the right spots versus you guys aren't getting me the ball at all. Like one is just like a little bit selfish, and the other is like you guys are playing stupid fucking basketball and it's messing me up.
Yeah, I think it's the more selfish thing. And the problem where
mix of two.
The problem where it gets kind of confused, and the reason why I can see where you guys are coming from is he says both in the article. We just went through it. He says both statements. I choose to believe that he's coming at it for more of a selfish thing. But I can understand where you guys are coming from more than I can understand where he's coming from. I just like
I think it's a mix of what you're saying and what I'm saying, because I think what he's saying is real, and like it's not like he's just making something up. Sure. But I also see where you're coming from, where it is like he wants, because usually it's Shaq just dominated, best player in the league, all this stuff, and he probably wants that appraise, like that appeasement or whatever the hell you're talking about.
Right.
But
yeah. He wants his penis slurped on a little bit. So, Game 5, the Lakers absolutely fuck the Wolves up, blow them out by 30 after all the fucking drama after Game 4. And this is which it never occurred to me this happened in the playoffs. This is the buckle up for Kobe Bryant.
Is this not one of the greatest dunks in playoff history?
It definitely is. I didn't want to spend too much time on this because it's obviously not his legacy breakdown, but it is one of my favorite dunks of all time. Yeah. And the call is just fire. The call is money. Shit on their face.
That's insane.
It's fucking awesome. And it was on TNT, so it's even better.
And he literally went freaking baseline to baseline. Like, it's insane.
Like that
KG too. Like KG was there. Like, that's crazy.
But yeah, so that's part of them absolutely giving the T-Wolves the dick in game 5, excuse me.
Yeah.
But they beat him by 30.
30
right?
piece. Yeah, it was a 30.
Everybody's in double figures. Shaq, 27 and 11, 7 of 10 from the free throw line. Kobe, 32 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and most importantly, no complaining about shot distribution somehow. Crazy how that works. Derek Fisher also 24 points.
He still shot less shots than Kobe. And he shot less shots than he did the other day.
So what the fuck are you bitching about, Papa? This shit I don't understand. Very inconsistent.
It might have been how he got the ball though. That's what I'm saying. It might have been he got it in the rhythm that he was asking for.
Now he got it with that one step, like you're saying.
Look, they win by 30 if they get it like that. That's what I'm saying.
So, all right. So, finally, Lakers close it out in 6. Dominant victory. Everybody's in double figures. Phil Jackson wins his 25th consecutive postseason series in a row, dating back to '96 and Jordan. It is insane. 25 in a row. I'll have it on your screen if that's a record. I'm pretty sure it's got to be close to a record.
It has to be.
If it's not him, it's Red Auerbach because of the Celtics stuff. Because I assume 8 championships.
That doesn't count.
8 championships in a row. I'm pretty sure you won a lot of series, but it was less series, so it might be similar.
Because they skipped. I think some of them they played 2 rounds.
Yeah, there's like a whole So Shaq had 19 in the first half, and he had 24, 17 rebounds and 9 assists. So all of a sudden, I guess passing is cool, and like he's just a confusing man. Just a very confusing.
Like you really.
I would love to not hate. I would love to not feel that way, but it's just I don't know. But these are the games I like to see from Shaq.
Wow, 9 assists.
That's what I'm saying. These are my favorite kind of Shaq games.
Yeah,
for sure. So Kobe 31 points, another 8 assists. What are the final averages for this series before we move on?
Let me guess. Hold on. Kobe had 29. 5 assists. No, 6 assists.
I'm gonna say like 8 assists. I feel like every time I looked at it, it was like 8 assists.
And like 6 rebounds. 6 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's your guessing for Kobe?
6. Yeah.
I'll say Shaq had 25, 13, and 3 blocks a game.
He might have more than 25.
Oh, way more. 29 for Shaq. 29, 15, 3.7 assists, 2.8 blocks. You were. 32. Yeah. 32 for Kobe. 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal per game. Shaq shot 52% and 61 from the line. That's pretty damn good. Derek Fisher hit 21 threes in this series. Shot 62% from 3, 15 points a game. Holy fuck.
That's crazy.
A 2020 man caught in 2003.
The crazy part about pretty much that third guy always had to be a rotation. Like,
oh yeah,
I feel like
that's what the 2022 Philadelphia 76ers were hoping for with Joel and James Harden. They were hoping for Joel and James Harden to carry most of the load, and then like Tyrese Maxey or fucking Tobias Harris, to your point, the rotating third guy. but Ben Hart.
I feel like that's usually an issue. Like you need someone to have that role
consistently.
Yeah,
I think I agree with that, especially in today's NBA. I would agree with that. So okay,
I feel like history kind of showed that too, for the most part. Usually, if you have a consistent third guy, you got like most of these championship teams. I mean, besides these Lakers, really, like, did they have a consistent? I guess Robert Horry was kind of
Robert Horry and Derek Fisher was there, and Rick Fox in the beginning was good. Horace Grant.
Horry was definitely big. I was surprised. I didn't realize how big Horry was in those playoffs. Like I know he hit big shots because he was a big shot Bob, but I didn't realize how much of a focal point he was in that.
We're gonna see a first Ginobili appearance here in the 4th playoff series matchup over the last 5 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs. The big 3 is in the building. The core, the championship team is set. Steven Jackson, Bruce Bowen, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Timmy motherfucking Duncan. Jeez. This is a core, and David Robinson sneaking one out the back door. This is at this point, a famous core group of guys. They're going to carry the Spurs through the rest of this era, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, Lakers lose.
They help create the Spurs dynasty,
right? This is that core for the dynasty that we're going to see over the next 15 years.
Yeah,
is there for sure. Well, 10. It's 2003. They won their last one. I got it. Spurs win a close game, very close game with the Lakers. But Phil Jackson is very upset about the free throw disparity here,
Kobe shot
which is
just
ironic. Like 9 of 12. Kobe and Shaq combined for 8 free throws in total. Right? Kobe's going to have 37 points on 38 shots. But
Shaq had 24 points on 20 shots. He don't say nothing about that. He's a center.
He missed a lot of dunks, I guess. I don't know. But Kobe, embarrassment. 40 shots,
that's so much. Yeah,
trash.
So much harder to do.
So the Spurs shot 35 free throws to the Lakers 12. And let's see the fourth quarter. It's always the one in doubt. Obviously, Spurs are at home as the bigger seed, right? So 19 free throws, 19 of those in the fourth quarter to the Lakers 3. So the Lakers got Lakers right here. This is like if nobody mentions it. If we're talking to every Lakers hate, we're gonna see why nobody mentions it in a minute. But nobody mentions this, but they absolutely got the Lakers treatment. And Phil Jackson says Duncan had more free throws than my entire team, and I know he's the MVP, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, facts. Bitch ass Timmy D. That's why we don't fuck with Timmy D out here. Fuck
Kobe, or everybody besides Kobe and Shaq shot 6 for 20. That's in the starting 5. So Fisher, Horry, and Devin George for the whole game, 6 of 20. Not gonna get it done.
Yeah,
not gonna get it done at all. Ass suit. But somehow a close game.
They lost by 5 points. He's over here making it seem like.
Do you think they got screwed?
Yeah. You get 27 points in the or 9, whatever the fuck free throws in the fourth quarter. Yeah, you got screwed.
Okay. I'm not a.
Yo, we cannot say Sacramento Kings got screwed a couple years back. And the same thing happens to the Lakers, and then we're going to be like, no, it's not a screw job just because they've screwed people before. That doesn't count. That doesn't matter. It's the Rockets.
The screwing will absolutely continue. But game 2, I'm dubbing the Bruce Bowen game. I don't know if other people call it the Bruce Bowen game, but it's the Bruce Bowen game. That's the other reason why Kobe's shooting incredibly inefficient too, because Bruce Bowen's on him, and Bruce Bowen was one of the 5 best players to defend a guy like Kobe Bryant. That's just an indiscernible fact. He was amazing at defense. But in this particular game, he goes 7 of 8 from 3, 27 points, 3 blocks, absolutely savage. Tim Duncan only needed 12 points to get the job done, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. Didn't even shoot that much.
Yo, nah, you were cocky then. I hate you.
Why? Because he only took 10 shots, and I didn't say 12 points on 10 shots?
No.
If he scored 12 points on 30 shots, I would have said something.
Any other superstar would have scored 12 points in a game. You would have said something like, oh, wow, only 12 points from him.
Who won the game?
Oh, because he won, yeah.
He won handedly. So
yeah, word.
It does help. Winning cures all, as the theme of this playoffs has been. Winning does cure all of those things. Tony Parker, game. How'd Ginobili do? Ginobili, 17 points off the... Look at this! Harden-esque game, right? 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 5 of 7 from the field. If it was really Harden, this would be like 8 threes taken. But a classic Spurs performance here, or what's going to be a classic Spurs performance. I guess it's not classic yet. And they're up 2-0 in this series, right? Yeah. So,
but the way the Lakers are looking at it going into this game 3 was they took care of their home court. We got to take care of ours.
Yes. And it shows in the bench scoring. Lakers bench was outscored 19-2 in game 2.
Yeah.
Fucking damn. So the Lakers, as you said, they show up to game 3, right? And now Robert Horry, Derek Fisher, and Devin George combined for 40 points, making shots early and making sure they fed their otherworldly teammates late in the game. That was over early in the 4th quarter. So Tim Duncan and Malik Rose, only people that really showed up. Absolutely abysmal doo-doo city games from every single other Spurs player.
That makes sense because you got, like, they're still, like, young at this time. So, like,
super young.
Yeah. And so a lot of times, and we talk about it like even now, like going into a game 3 is probably down 2-0 is one of the most desperate teams that you'd face.
Facts. Especially a down 2-0 former champion.
Yeah. And then also having young players having to go into like a hostile environment because they're going to Staples Center. Like that's not the easiest place to win a game. So I'm sure going into this, if I was there and I was betting, I would assume, all right, Lakers are going to win this game because they're going to, they're going to at least we know their bench is going to probably show up. We probably will see the Spurs bench probably not show up as much, stuff like that.
So just to keep track of the free throws, since people want to keep track of the free throws in this series, 24 for the Spurs, 40 for the Lakers. And they made a lot of them in this game. Not to worry. Shaq only took 3 of them, which is kind of astounding. Kobe, 17 of 19, 39 points in this game. Very much so.
Bruce Bowen wasn't fucking with him today. What happened? Where's your Bruce Bowen love?
I mean, like I said, absolute ass soup.
Yeah,
terrible games. Yeah. 1 of 7 and 1 of 8 from Bowen and Tony Parker. 3 of 12 from Steven. That's rough. The whole team just took a shit.
Yeah.
A massive shit. Now the Lakers get in a similar game to game 1 here. 95-99 in game 4. They tie the series. But once again, with some controversy. Phil Jackson is not going to be on the bench for this game. Tim Duncan took 20 free throws, right? 36 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. But Tim Duncan's the only person on the whole team who took any kind of like real free throws. The Lakers, 35 of 45 from the line. Kobe and Shaq combined for over 30. Or no, exactly 30, or 40. 40 free throws in the game. Fuck. So they got him back. See, they returned the favor for game 1. You like that?
Imagine how boring.
They said, Lakers, don't worry, we got your back.
Games.
So fucking annoying. Slow pace,
free throws,
slow, boring, sluggish.
Yeah.
All these games are like a modern day game 7.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it's probably why a lot of these guys from way back when feel like, oh, our era was whatever. X, Y, Z, better or whatever. Yeah.
Did Horry do good in this game? Or was it was just the last game?
So.
Because that was a big thing, like, with Horry.
No, Robert Horry sucked in this game. 0 points. Horrific. What did he do in the last game? I didn't even shout him out.
I think he had
he definitely played well.
That was a big thing. Because they going into that game, him and Kobe have that conversation, right?
Robert Horry had 13 points, 12 rebounds. Yeah, played significantly better than he did there.
Yeah.
So conversation.
Because pretty much Robert Horry at the time was more so looked at as like more like a Udonis Haslem, like because they were calling him the locker room sage and stuff like that.
Who?
Like
Fisher?
Robert Horry.
Or Robert Horry? Yeah,
Robert Horry. Yeah, I was saying like they treat him almost. I mean, not as bad as Udonis Haslem because he actually played a little bit more, but I think he's more so like that kind of guy in the locker room where he's supposed to be that glue guy. And
hey, when we see Haslem in a few years, he'll be playing. He just doesn't play now because he's ancient. He's 2 days older than dirt. Surprised that jersey just doesn't melt off of him. But he played a lot back in the day.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
But no, I get what you're saying. So, game 5. Another really close game. Spurs, I believe, are up the majority of the game. Yes, they are, right?
Yeah.
They're up the majority of the game.
Yeah, I think it was a big comeback, wasn't it?
It was a massive 30-16 fourth quarter for the Lakers that almost cost them the game.
Yeah.
Led by Kobe, right? 13 points, 13 shots. And really the bench guys and Kobe, with Shaq gobbling up rebounds. But it wasn't enough. And man, Robert Horry had a chance to win this game. He had a chance to win this game.
Yeah.
The three-pointer went, and this will be on your screen. It fell halfway into the basket and bounced out, leaving the Lakers short of pulling off one of the greatest comebacks of their 3-year reign. And it would have been, for sure, because they sucked in the majority of this game.
Yeah.
Right? Kobe, 36 points on 31 shots in total, not bad. Shaq, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 8 of 14 from the field. What did Tim Duncan do? I always like to see, every once in a while, you'll see like an absolutely outrageous Tim Duncan stat line. This one's pretty normal, though. 27, 14, and 5, a steal and a block, shooting 50%. I got good games from Tony Parker, Bruce Bowen, Steven Jackson. The core showed up a little bit more in this game.
And this was at San Antonio, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because just think about it, that ball bounces differently. Maybe going into the game 6, or maybe Spurs just force a game 7.
Yeah,
but they're going into LA down. Like
it's definitely a lot. There's a lot. It's a totally different series if Horry hits that shot, and we've seen game 5s be the mega swing of series like that.
For sure. But for them, the Lakers to get blown out in a game 6 at home.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
But no,
crazy.
Hold on, real quick. The one thing I did want to note about game 5, LA Times or New York Times wrote, offensively, the Lakers appeared clueless when it came to getting the ball to O'Neal. With multiple Spurs collapsing around their anchor, the Lakers became disheveled, relying on Bryant to create magic and bail them out. I wonder why they would just try to get Shaq the ball. Man, it definitely wasn't because he was like talking, right? It's not because he was saying things like, I don't know, get me the ball every time. Get it to me. Give it to me. Every fucking practice, every fucking time. And now it bites him in the ass. If he wasn't such a fucking baby, maybe they would have won this game. Anyways.
Yeah, if we would have cut to the basket, they would have been. You big dummy. You
fucking
big
moron.
clumsy dummy.
Big oaf. Shrek's got to go back to his swamp now.
Yo, I love how Russell's starting to realize Kobe was right this whole time.
I will say that that's the one thing that this legacy breakdown and going this deep into Shaq's career is that Wilt Chamberlain was right before you and I were right, in the sense that Wilt Chamberlain said right before he died, right in '99, we covered it in the episode right before they won the championship. Wilt Chamberlain was like, Kobe's been the whipping boy. They should fucking. Shaq should do this. Shaq should do that. Stop complaining so much. Worry about defense. And
that's
it's
the
crazy
thing because it kind of is what happened too. Like everybody blamed Kobe for that. Like literally,
that's true.
I mean, we're gonna get to it, but because it's coming up soon. But Kobe, literally, it was dangerous for him to walk around LA at some points.
Yeah,
because of that. That's
and that's what I mean by. And that's why the word appeasement hit me so hard in the last round, because it's just appeasing a guy that, in general you like, but he's being fucking bitch. But anyways, all right. So the Spurs are finally going to get this done here in Game 6 and end the Lakers' reign of terror at 3 years, right? 110-82. Duncan and Tony Parker with basically an on-the-map moment for him. 27 points, 5 assists, 2 steals. Great fucking game.
37
Tim Duncan,
16.
Savage. This is what Duncan would become famous for. When the chips were absolutely on the table and in closeout games and in games that seriously made a difference, Duncan would put the fucking cape on and become Super Duncan.
That's a fact. Because that's what he almost did. That's almost what he did in 2013.
Yep.
Remember?
Yep. That's my favorite Tim Duncan game, where something very similar to this occurred. Very similar to your point. So
if this Tim Duncan was there, that would have definitely happened.
Kobe crying after the game, absolutely broken up, tears flowing down his face. The room is actually wet from his tears. The floor, rather. Bryant, whose voice shook an hour. Hey, look, it was written. Bryant, whose voice shook an hour after he left the floor, said, "It's a foreign feeling. I don't like the feeling. I don't think anybody else likes the feeling. I don't ever want to feel it again." All right, I'm done with the baby voice. But when he left an interview room and met Ori, they hugged. There are 5 free agents, 6 if the Lakers decline to exercise Ori's option, as it appears they will, and Laker management expects to rebuild in places around Bryant and O'Neal. So this is the end of this core. They are not bringing this back together. Phil Jackson, we are severely disappointed we couldn't make a run for the championship and get our opportunity to win a 4th. It tells us something about how difficult it is and how much dedication and discipline you have to win 4 years in a row. We had a great run. Yeah, Phil, you've never fucking done it, pussy. Your shit always ends at fucking 3, you little bitch. Fuck you.
So terrible. Oh, so terrible.
God. Yo,
pussy, can't even get 4 in a row. Coward.
He was so close to 12, man. That was insane.
He's had a few opportunities here. Yeah. O'Neal, so let's see.
It says O'Neal said, referring to Coach Phil Jackson and General Manager Mitch Kupchak, hopefully they can get some new blood.
Yeah.
To me, that's insane. How do you just lose and be like, yeah, hopefully we get some new people in this fucking team because fuck these guys.
Because the businessman's out. Like, oh man, we didn't win, whatever. Yeah. And it's interesting because like he's going to have a lot to do with the free agents that come in, right?
Yeah.
And another New York Times article in May talks about two veterans in search of championship rings, Karl Malone and Gary Payton, are possibilities.
Yeah.
And
AKA
Shaq is
Jordan's pre-comes.
Okay then. But also, like, really quick.
But seppuku is off limits.
Yeah, like what?
What?
But also, like, fuck Karl Malone.
Fucking, oh yeah, you're gonna have plenty of opportunity to say that next year. But
yes.
But O'Neal, this is where Shaq had me dying. O'Neal will bear some of the burden, even as he promised the fourth championship would be on me. It's always on me. This is something that's going to hurt, Shaq said. But it's reality. It's life. You have to suck it up and move on. The good thing about American sports, there's always a next year. Now, if David Stern would come out in the beginning of the season and said, this is the last year of the NBA, I'd be very, very upset. Fucking.
Little does he know. We needed to know
Little does he know, he's 31 and he's not going to get any better. So he should have tried to win while he's still had a healthy body. Anyways, so Kobe can opt out of his contract after next year, right?
Yeah. Which I think at this point they know that he's willing to like wait it out.
At minimum, fucking think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do I really want to be part of this fucking drama fest again? You know? Yeah. But yeah, to your point, hopefully we can get some new blood, right? But I put this in the notes, and this will be where we leave off, because I just thought this was really interesting. Rod Thorne, president of the Nets and GM of the Nets, said, Shaq is the biggest force in the game. I think that the rest of the teams that are left are glad that they don't have to deal with him. If I had to say what most teams would think, they'd say, it's good. We feel better about our chances now that the Lakers are out. Yeah. Philadelphia's general manager, Billy King, said, the bottom line is that Shaq is 350 pounds.
Yeah.
Duncan is the MVP of the league, but he's not 350. Shaq's the only player that's really unguardable because of his size. Without him, everybody's got a chance. That is the perception of Shaquille O'Neal at this time, even though, in my opinion, he is not going to get any more improved. He's only going to go on the downswing here at age 31.
Yeah, but they don't know that at that point.
They don't. And I think that's an important, like, Shaq is perceived, as this quote says, Duncan's the MVP of the league, but he's not 350. Shaq's the only player that's really unguardable because of his size. Without him, everybody's got a chance. Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Because
would you have, at that time, do you think you would have taken Tim Duncan over Shaq?
It's hard knowing what I know now, but definitely not. Not at that point. You can't say that. The guy's a 3-time champion and has just got done sweeping Duncan. Maybe after this playoffs it looks a little different, but like he did sweep Duncan during those.
Well, I think next year they're probably beat him again. I think don't they face the Spurs again next year?
Yes, and that's that's what I mean by knowing what I know now. It's a more difficult conversation, but right at this point, I think Shaq. You got to pick Shaq. He's still dominating motherfuckers out there, being big, shitting on people's faces, but he's just starting to deteriorate. But the Lakers are going to make one last run at immortality, and we're going to see that in the final year of Shaq on the Lakers. Hey guys, if you like what you heard, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Just type in Apex Greatness on YouTube to see everything we put out this year. From legacy breakdowns to current NBA and NFL content, we have over 150 videos to binge if you're that type of person, or just to listen to in your spare time. We have about 2 to 5 hours of new content every week. Check us out. Later.